Destroying the supply base here will prevent the missile complex from receiving reinforcements.
What about the civilians on the evac shuttle, sir? Scary-looking shiners.
Kane's been using Tiberium to manipulate their DNA for cyber production.
They say they had some information on an underground Nod power station that feeds the Tiberian missile plant. Sir, they're ready to fight.
Well, maybe we should give them a chance at a little payback. Suit them up. We'll go out to the supply base. And we'll find out what they really know about this power grid.
Reinforcements.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play CNC Tiberian Sun.
Hey everybody, I'm Barry John and back commentating.
So yeah, this time around we get a bunch of new units. For one, for doing the previous optional mission, we get the mutant squad here. They will respawn indefinitely. Every time this one gets killed, a new one just spawns. And the disruptors we get for retrieving their crystals. Now, the thing about those is they're really slow and fairly fragile, but they do a lot of damage.
They are, well, my second favorite unit of the GDI arsenal, behind the Titan.
Yeah, the Titan is pretty hard to beat, but I think I prefer the Disruptor personally. Also, hey, remember these vein holes from way back at the beginning?
Yep.
So yeah, this time around they're actually kind of a threat to us, so we'll be destroying them. They take a lot of damage, and they spew out this poisonous gas that will damage all your units and kill infantry instantly. So it's always kind of a bit random because the gas can go in different directions. Sometimes it'll hit your units, sometimes it just kind of goes into nowhere.
I can't help but notice only one of your MRLSs is firing though.
Yeah, the pathfinding AI kind of glitched out there, and I didn't notice right away. I'll be correcting that later on. So, as you may remember, these vein holes, they destroy any vehicle that drives over it. So, our hover millers are fine because obviously they're hovering, but if we moved our disruptors on top of those, they would get pretty much wrecked.
I think infantry's also lighted up, they can walk over it as well.
Yeah, infantry is also immune to veins.
Which you know is a nice counterpoint. Infantry gets damaged by normal Tiberium, but can walk over vein holes, not a problem. But vehicles are the opposite.
Yeah, although it's only the heavy vehicles, the light ones can still pass over it fine. So, one thing to keep in mind about disruptors is those beams of theirs. They do continuous damage, and they do damage to everything in their path, much like Ghost Stalker's railgun. So, it's something you have to keep in mind when you have composite forces, because disruptors are immune to their friendly fire damage. So it doesn't matter if you have a horde of disruptors friendly firing each other, but if you have, say, a group of titans in front of the disruptors, they will destroy them really quickly.
Yeah, the four disruptors are getting beat up though.
Didn't quite catch that.
The disruptors are getting beaten up though. One of them's in the red there.
Oh yeah, like I said, they do tend to be more on the fragile side. They're definitely not titans in that department.
Oh yeah, but then again, nothing's really a titan except other titans.
Well, there is another unit that can stand up to the toughness of a titan, but we'll get to that a bit later. And, I mean, when you do so much damage as the Disruptor does, it kinda doesn't really matter if you're fragile. Because, when you get a group of Disruptors, like 5 or 6 or so, things just completely melt away.
Yeah. Oh, I don't think you've talked about this before, but those disruptors, because they're ground-based vehicles, actually slowed going up the hill there.
Oh, yeah, I completely forgot about that, actually. You know, there was actually planned to be some really cool features regarding terrain.
You mean having more
And,
than just 2 levels?
No, I mean in that it would slow down and speed up units. So if you, for example, move over a paved road, you would speed up, and rough terrain would slow you down, and different terrains would have different rates at which they slow you down. And the code for that is in the game, but they didn't have time to balance it, so it was cut. Also, this is gonna be a running theme for this mission: chemical missile attacks. Those pretty much just do a little bit of damage, and they also spawn these Tiberium clouds. And speaking of new stuff, another new unit, the Orca Bomber. Oh yeah, those things are pretty damn amazing, as you could see there. Although they do tend to be to do some friendly fire if you're not careful.
Yeah, that's a huge base you've built up there.
Yeah, the enemy in this mission actually rushes you, likes to rush you with devil stonks, so I decided to put down some pavements. And I mean, it's always nice to have a pretty base to look at, you know. Also, note in the lower left corner there's Visceroid running around.
Oh, the baby.
Yeah, baby Visceroid. Now, first off, these missiles can actually be stopped by Firestone defenses, but the AI has kind of a bug where if you build a Firestone wall in this mission, they will fire their chemical missile at that like the same specific tile of firewall every single time, even though they can't actually damage it with a chemical missile.
Well, I see a lot of green clouds running around, so it is doing damage.
Yeah, those clouds do damage buildings pretty heavily if you don't repair them, so that's kind of annoying. Although it's not really a threat unless you forget to repair them. So anyway, like I was saying, that Visceroid, those have actually some pretty nice mechanics attached to them. So basically, whenever infantry dies in a Tiberium field or due to Tiberium exposure, they have a chance of turning into a baby Visceroid. These poison gas clouds that are all over the place this mission have a really high chance of spawning a Visceroid, so we'll be seeing a lot of them this mission. And basically how they work is they run around the map aimlessly until they find another baby Visceroid, and then they melt together into an adult Visceroid, which does a pretty good amount of damage and has a lot of health, so they can be kinda tough to deal with at first, although they're not much of a threat later on. The AI, though, is absolutely terrible at dealing with them, and so they will frequently get their asses kicked by Visceroids. In fact, in my practice run of this mission, I had a few adult Visceroids destroy the enemy base before I even got there.
I can just imagine the GDI commander's report after that mission, you know. Yep, and we were, busy fighting off the, building up our base here. And then we received reports from the Nod base, they were being attacked by the Visceroids. By the time we got there, they were all dead. Sorry.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, because you can actually hear the Visceroids attack. They have a very distinctive attack sound, and you can hear it from the fog of war, even if you can't see them. Also, we can finally build these RPG towers. They do a lot of damage with their grenades, however, they kinda have that minimum range thing going on, so that can be annoying. Yeah, otherwise we're pretty much GDI's best base defense by far.
Oh yeah, no arguing. Especially once you've got, your sensor up and running so you can see the cloaked units coming up.
Yeah. This mission actually has a good amount of stealth tanks, so it's worth it to build a sensor unit, because they will reveal the stealth tanks in their whole detection radius and pretty much render the whole gimmick useless.
Oh, hey, incoming.
Yeah, that's the Carry-All, another new unit for this mission. Interestingly enough, they actually fly in from across the map rather than being spawned at one of your production buildings, and how it works is you can use them to pick up your units and transport them. They can only pick up vehicles, although you can transport infantry if you pick up an amphibious APC. Although that's kind of a roundabout way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Originally, you were supposed to be able to build the Orca transports that some of the story missions have, but for some reason that was cut. I don't really know why, because it would actually be pretty useful.
Probably because it would make the APC useless.
Well, I mean, the APC is amphibious. It doesn't, even if there is some overlap, it is distinctive enough from the Orca transport, I think, to warrant having both of them. Also, a nice use of a Carry-All is to ferry slow units like Disruptors back and forth between your base, so you can either send reinforcements to the front or send wounded units back to repair.
Oh man, your technology center there got chewed up.
Yeah, I kinda did a pretty bad job this mission, just micromanaging all my different fronts here. So expect to see some suboptimal play from me here.
Oh, that's alright. We're goons, we can handle that.
Well, I kinda wanna do a quality LP after all. I mean, I kinda have a reputation to keep. And here I completely forgot there was that tick tank, so I kinda sent my hover MLRS up there, not expecting any resistance.
And getting a tick tank to the pick.
Yeah. It's like one of those D&D sessions, and suddenly tick tanks appear.
Hmm.
And one nice thing about Disruptors is they don't really need any support, because they do so much damage that even though they're not particularly effective against infantry, they still completely obliterate them.
Mm-hmm. Well, I suppose if you're doing enough damage over time, well, you don't need to be settled.
Yeah, that's another thing to note about them. Their little beams do actually damage over time.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Hold on.
anyway, one thing about those chemical missiles is Nod actually needs to harvest these vein holes with special harvesters called weed eaters. And so if you take out the vein holes, you prevent them from attacking you with chemical missiles.
Yeah. Hold on. Where will your forgotten infantry go?
They're still hanging out at the base.
Okay. Just wondering,
Yeah,
I didn't see them, and I know you mentioned that they respawned after a while, so I was kind of worried, you know. Hold on. Did they not respawn?
I never got them killed, actually. I just kind of had them guard the entrance to my base.
Mm.
Also, Orca bombers kind of make short work of those vein holes.
Yeah. But again, what doesn't an Orca bomber make short work of?
Other Orca bombers?
Hey,
Well,
but
at least if they're not landed.
Mm.
Also, I completely forgot to repair my barracks, so blew up.
do you really need another barracks at this point?
I mean, it's nice to have.
Oh yeah, you put the engineer in the APC.
Oh, yeah, it kind of speed things up a bit here, because it's just base assault. There's nothing really interesting going on here.
I noticed that you're, you know, bombering even through the SAM site, so...
Well, there is actually a thing about those power plants, because as you will see later on, They have a power plant farm, but it got destroyed by a vein hole that's in their base.
Hey,
Right
what?
there. Oh, sorry, I kind of fucked up my editing, I think. There's actually a back path where you can go back and where we killed that other vein hole with the Orca bombers. There's a ramp that you can get back down here, and there's a power plant farm back here where that vein hole is growing, and I kinda had my hover MLS take some of them out. Forgot to leave it in. So, sorry about that.
Well, to be fair, I mean, I saw the original length of this video was 45 minutes long.
Well, that was already edited. The original video was over 50 minutes. So,
Yes, sir.
I mean, I guess I'll include a screenshot or something. Anyway, that's kind of another big problem the AI has with vein holes. They don't really have any ability to control their growth, so if they spawn or if they have their base next to a vein hole, after a while they will just grow into their base and destroy all their buildings. By the time I got to this power plant farm, half the power plants were actually already destroyed by that vein hole growth. Oh, and forgot to mention it, but when you go up to that train there, you get an optional objective. Specifically to get Ghost Stalker, who spawns in at that point, to that train. Also funny, if you pick up a vehicle on a slope, it will stay well, sloped on the carry-all until you put it back down.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we move Ghost Stalker in the train, and this actually opens up an optional mission later on.
I like how the fact that when the train moves, you know, it still has its own fog of war revealing.
Yeah. Also, I just cut ahead because there was nothing interesting.
Yeah,